Welcome to Mid-Ohio for the second round of the Zero Racing season. This is the fourth season we have been doing this. And this is the weekend round from this particular track. We are missing the top two men in the championship. Wesley, Stokes, and Alessio Bonis are absent due to conflicting schedules. And that leaves a big opportunity for the man on pole, Ben Swarey, who enters the day in third in the points, but could easily take the lead with a solid result. Joining him on the front row is Rick Martel, followed by Mathew Wheeler, Mark Minahan, Dule Markovic, Mike Magasevic, Dean Reimers, Jason Chittenden, and Mark Klabzul. Also a big day for the Golden Bolt team, which has three cars, Minahan, Magasevic, and Reimers on the grid, as opposed to a pretty weak showing from the other teams. Team Shosha only having one, in the form of Martel, John Slow Racing with just Ben Swarey, Spalding RT with just Klabzul, and just Rick Martel for Shosha. I think I already said that. Dule Markovic for Zagato Piston. So let's kick this off. A lot of potential movement coming into this race championship-wise. And they are off. Looks like Ben Swarey got a better start than Rick Martel, who has definitely lost a little bit of control. Matt Wheeler will probably come out of this in second place in the Corvette. And it looks like Markovic is up into third. Rick Martel going off there in the background. Hell of a start for Mark Klabzul, who is up to fourth or fifth place, it looks like. Looks like fourth place, fifth place, Markovic, Chittenden. Weird stuff happening here. A couple cars going off. Klabzul out of control. Chittenden had a moment there as well. And Klabzul very off the track, and he'll go to the back of the pack. Rick Martel had a terrible start, and he's way off the back end now. Swarey leading the way from Matt Wheeler. Looks like these two are instantly kind of making it a two-car battle for the lead. Dule Markovic is in third. He's the top Academy guy. Mike Baggis and Dean Reimers are way off of the track as well for both the Golden Bolts boys. Absolutely carnage on lap one here. And it's playing into the hands of these two men, Ben Swarey and Matt Wheeler, who are quite a ways ahead now. Markovic still in third place. Fourth place belongs to Jason Chittenden. Fifth place to Mark Minahan. Sixth place to Dean Reimers. Seventh, Magasevic. Eighth, Mark Klabzul. And ninth, Rick Martel. Mathew Wheeler, I think, had a problem there. He's dropped back from second place to the tail end of the top five. Looks like he went off at the carousel. Was he assisted by contact? Nope. Just looks like the Corvette gets a little bit wide, gets onto the grass, and spins it out. And Ben Swarey says, "Thank you very much. I was fastest in qualifying, and you're making it a little bit easy for me to get away here." Loses second place to Markovic. Through comes Jason Chittenden, and Minahan is also in the pressure zone. Actually, it looks like he retains third ahead of Chittenden. So Ben Swarey pretty lonely at the front. He just has to avoid putting a wheel wrong. Dule Markovic in a pretty comfortable second place, but he's got some faster cars behind him. Matt Wheeler goes out wide onto the grass again. Chittenden's going to get through for sure, as is Minahan. That promotes the New Zealander and the Australian into third and fourth position, dropping the primary Australian, Matt Wheeler, back to fifth place here on lap 2. Magasevic is somewhere along the lines taking a spot off of Reimers. Looks like Reimers went off, judging by their relative positions. Swarey sprinting out to the lead. Dule Markovic has gone off the track, and that's going to lose him second place. This looks like he loses it at China Beach. He gets very wide out on the grass, into the sand. And a hole. And oh! Matt Wheeler in the background appears to have flipped his car. Let's have a look at that, please. So Matt Wheeler in 5th place, having a weird day. Loses it, and yeah, he's he's on his roof in the Corvette. And the auto reset of the car will save him, but it's going to drop him to the very back of the field. So to reset, after 2 just amazingly eventful laps with some sloppy driving, Ben Swarey is way out in front from Jason Chittenden, the debuting rookie, who's holding off Mark Minahan, who's in 3rd place. Dule Markovic is in 4th. 5th is Mike Magasevic. 6th is Dean Reimers. 7th is Mark Klabzul. 8th is Rick Martel. And 9th is Mathew Wheeler. Just some absolute chaotic carnage so far. Chittenden is the top independent in the race as well as top rookie, making his Zero Racing debut here at Mid-Ohio. Doing pretty well. He's had a quiet race except for the stuff that's been happening around him. Mark Minahan making his seasonal debut. This is his 3rd season in Zero Racing. He has joined the Golden Bolt team. Mike Magasevic has gone off track and has lost a spot to Dean Reimers, who's now up into 5th place. Looks like Mark Klabzul will also get alongside and past Magasevic into 6th place. Martel and Wheeler at the back. Maybe Magasevic can hold it. He gets into China Beach a little bit better and retains 6th position from Mark Klabzul. Klabzul under pressure from Martel, who, keep in mind, started P2 on the grid, and the P3 starter Matt Wheeler is in the mix too. Wheeler is the lone non-Z4 on the circuit today, the independent Corvette. Wheeler takes 8th place away from Martel and is looking... Oh, Martel off in the background again. Pressure is on Klabzul here. Battle for 7th place with Matt Wheeler, 2-time Zero champion. Including a title win in Season 2 with that Corvette that he is driving now. Also Silhouette champion as well. A little bit wide into the keyhole goes Klabzul, and he loses the spot to Matt Wheeler. In the meantime, just absolutely coasting way ahead of the pack on lap 4 is Ben Swarey. 2nd place still belonging to Jason Chittenden, who's under immense pressure from Golden Bolt's Mark Minahan and Zagato Pistons' Dule Markovic. Rounding off the top 5 is still Dean Reimers, followed by Magasevic, Wheeler, Klabzul, and Martel. Not even halfway through this race, and a lot of grass is in these tires because there's been a number of offs for almost every car involved in the race. Looks like Wheeler is... Magasevic gets nudged a little bit. He manages to retain control of the car. Mark Klabzul actually maybe the worst off of this as he flies quite far off the track, maybe in avoidance. The battle for 6th place between Magasevic and Wheeler will continue. Rick Martel has picked up 8th place in the scramble. Dean Reimers in 5th place is starting to sprint away. And it looks like Mark Minahan has gotten through on Chittenden, heading into China Beach. Yep, just breaks out to the inside line. And puts down a little bit more gas. Chittenden getting on the brakes a bit harder and loses the spot into China Beach for 2nd place. Now belonging to the Aussie Mark Minahan. Magasevic still holding off Martel and Wheeler, who are quite possibly two of the three fastest cars on the circuit. Just a number of mistakes for both men have left them towards the back of the pack in 7th and 8th place. And Wheeler is not quite able to make it stick, although maybe he will into Thunder Valley. Yeah, he's got it. The Corvette. Oh, and he goes off. His second problem in this section of the track, and he's going to lose a spot to Martel and to Klapzul and rejoin in 9th. Magasevic retains 6th once again. You can see how far ahead Swarey is, though. He's just absolutely on cruise control. Dule Markovic slips up the inside of Chittenden, who makes a mistake in the keyhole, and that's going to put the Serbian onto the podium. And Reimers using Magasevic's roadblock to get him ahead into 5th place. Magasevic is under pressure from Martel now. In the background, you can see Wheeler and Klapzul. Like Klapzul was very slow into the beginning of the S's there, but appears to have held the position against Wheeler. Wheeler will be much stronger into the Thunder Valley section that we're coming up to here. The Corvette's strengths played into here, much like the BMW M6 during the weekday race had the same advantage over the Z4s that are a little bit lacking in just raw grunt. Side by side into the carousel. That's going to put Wheeler wide. And Klapzul's going to continue to retain 8th place. Minahan just starting to sprint away from Jason Chittenden and Dule Markovic. Chittenden has gotten back past Markovic into 3rd place. Markovic has a bit of a mini spin. He's going to lose the back end of the podium now. As Dean Reimers coming into the shot in 5th place. And there's Magasevic and Martel battling over 6th. Martel thinking about going for it. Magasevic has been one of the braver guys into this China Beach section, though, so maybe not the place to make a pass on him. We'll have a look here. Martel does have the inside line. And Magasevic, too brave on the brakes, goes wide and loses 6th place. Ben Swarey now on lap 8 of 11. He has led them all. Got off to a decent start and has just kind of watched the cars behind him fall off the track. It's been a pretty much a time trial for the number 20 car. After a lot of squabbling, Mark Minahan has picked up 2nd place. Coming off of a bit of a weak season after a very promising rookie season in Season 2 for Minahan. Couldn't quite come to grips with the DTM cars used in Season 3, and now back to the GT3s will hopefully be a boon to him. Rookie Jason Chittenden still on the podium. Markovic, Reimers, Martel has gotten past Magasevic at some point. Or pardon me, that happened a while ago. Matt Wheeler has gotten past Mark Klapzul. Looks like Klapzul has gone off the track again. Wheeler on the hunt. He knows he has a car much better than the 8th place he currently occupies. Knows that Corvette has a grunt advantage over the Z4s and can really make the most of the passing opportunities. Rick Martel on the hunt to try and hunt himself down Dean Reimers for 4th place. Or, pardon me, 5th place. Lap 9 for the race leader, Ben Swarey, leading by a large amount. You can see that Minahan is basically the entire keyhole behind, although I think the gap is perhaps closing a little bit, but I think that has more to do with Swarey just being in cruise control than any particular realistic pace advantage Minahan has. Also, I don't think it's nearly enough to make up the ground in the remaining 2 laps and change that he would have to make it happen. Chittenden's still in 3rd place. He's having a fantastic debut. Dule Markovic is in 4th, and it is Reimers, who's now under pressure from Martel for the final top 5 position. And looks like Matt Wheeler has gotten around Magasevic for 7th place. Gets a run on him into the keyhole. Magasevic ends up having to go very wide. Easy textbook pass for the Corvette. Ben Swarey, it's not a performance that's going to go down in the history books as a great win, but it's an absolute dominant one for the number 20 car and John Slow Racing, which desperately needs to turn its fortunes around this season. Swarey, who came to the day 3rd in points with absent leaders Alessio Bonis and Wesley Stokes, will take the championship lead off of this. And that's really all that's going to matter to him, I think. Mark Minahan, making a solid seasonal debut, currently in 2nd. The rookie Jason Chittenden, also on the podium. Would be the first New Zealander to take a podium in 0. He is trailed by the Serbian Dule Markovic. Interestingly enough, the top 4 all different nationalities, as well as different team representation. Dean Reimers holding up Rick Martel, still in the battle for 5th place against the top Canadian in the field. Matt Wheeler is closing up onto the back of this in 7th place. Magasevic is back in 8th, and then it's Mark Klapzul, who appears to be invisible at this point, but is still running. It's been a problem with technical issues with Klapzul all season long, so just to get to the end of the race would be a considerable improvement. Swarey rounds through the Sector 3, through the Thunder Valley, into the carousel, heading on to his last lap to take his first win this season. Fantastic rookie season in Season 3 for him in the DTMs, and his skill is showing in the Grand Touring class as well. Jason Chittenden may come under fire here for the final podium spot before long. He is under pressure from Dule Markovic, who's been the notably quicker of the two. This is also the battle for the top academy spot in this race. And gap is closing for sure between the independent BMW entry of Chittenden and the Zagato Piston entry of Dule Markovic. Reimers is starting to form a queue behind him as Martel and Wheeler, who are in probably not where you'd expect to find them, in 6th and 7th place after being... Oh! Boy, we have a moment here. Dule Markovic and Jason Chittenden appear to have had some kind of moment on the last lap here, early in the last lap. So let's have a look-see here. They're not very close together. I think it's Chittenden. Chittenden loses it into turn 1, and Markovic just doesn't really correct for it. Terrible moment for the 2 independent entries. Dean Reimers says thank you for the podium, but he's going to have to fight hard against Rick Martel and Matt Wheeler, who can now smell a podium. Magasevic is going to come through as well into 6th place, dropping from a battle for 3rd to 7th place for Chittenden and 8th place for Markovic. It's not a good look. Ben Swarey rounds the final couple of turns to take a uneventful but well-deserved victory. He was a dominant figure in the qualifying session and practice. He knew that this was a big opportunity with Stokes and Bonis absent, and he's going to take the victory and the championship lead. Mark Minahan, I hesitate to say is guaranteed 2nd place, because this race has been full of not being able to make guarantees, but he's still holding on to second. But the battle that interests me is this three-way battle for the final podium spot. Dean Reimers, Rick Martel, Matt Wheeler. Martel getting a little bit out of control here into Thunder Valley. Wheeler's got the strong car here. He looks to go around the outside and set up for the carousel. He's had a couple of problems with the carousel, but he's going to get the spot over Rick Martel, and it's going to be Dean Reimers who takes the podium for Golden Bolt Racing, headed the independent Corvette of Matt Wheeler and Rick Martel for Team Shosha. Mike Magasevic is going to roll across the line in 6th place, followed by Dule Markovic, who has to be asking what could have been. He takes 7th, ahead of rookie Jason Chittenden. And Mark Labzul gets a little partyish towards the end, loses control of the car a little bit, and takes his first race finish of the season in 9th. So that is race 1. Keep in mind we'll have race 2 with the reverse grid, which will see Mark Labzul take yet another start on the pole for reverse grid. He will be joined on the front row by Jason Chittenden, and Dule Markovic will start from 3rd, and I, for one, want to see what Markovic can do, because he clearly has the pace to make some things happen. Ben Swarey will try to come from the back of the pack, and probably will have to work harder to win this one than he did the first one, if he wants to go for the double. So we'll see you then.